Okay, so now for the keynote here, I have the pleasure of introducing Karen Fitzgerald. For over 20 years as a public speaking and communication consultant, Karen Fitzgerald has taught hundreds of people how to find their voice, create their message, and share it confidently. Working internationally at Facebook, Amazon, Fortune 100 companies, and the nonprofit sector, she has seen the issues women face. As an award-winning coach, she has guided hundreds of people, including corporate CEOs, sports celebrities, inspirational speakers, stay-at-home moms, authors, artists, healers, entrepreneurs, to uncover their truth in the most powerful ways and deliver it effectively. Please welcome Karen Fitzgerald.
Hi, everybody. Can you see me, Heather? Can you? Because this is new to me. I'm low tech. All right, there we are.
Yes.
Are we good? Can you
Yes.
hear me?
All right. I'm going to go off screen.
Okay. See you later. Okay. Hi, everybody. I would say I'm delighted to see you, but I can't see you. So when I signed up for this, I thought we would be on Zoom. But since this is a webinar, I'm going to trust that you're going to play with me because we're going to play today. And that's what we're going to do. So I invite you, as we get going, to put your name and your location in the chat, and then one word about how you are feeling right now. Now, this is a class about public speaking, so people have a lot of feelings about public speaking. So put your name, your location, and one word about how you're feeling right now. Intrigued. Okay, so I see intrigued, tired. Got it. Refreshed, inspired. All right, stoked, fun, excited, ready. Yeah, stoked, upbeat. Thanks. Yep, that's good. These are great. Excited, curious. Nice. Love your top, Karen. All right, I'm going to explain that top. So, yes, I'm wearing sequins. And one of the things you want to know when you get up to speak in public, whether you are speaking in the room, whether you're speaking on a stage or in a conference room or just one-on-one, if you want to excite yourself, if you want to raise your energy, wear something fun. You can wear it on top like I did today, or you could wear it underneath so that you know it's there. I see some happy people are happy, they're interested, but it's a tip. It's actually a tip about public speaking. You want to do something that feels joyful, that makes you feel excited on the inside. And I wore this morning because I thought this would be fun. So great to be here. Great to see you. So all of these, yeah, great comments in here. And what we're going to do now. So the reason I came so we have Nashville, Portsmouth, Manchester, all the different locations. Yep. Heather loves the top too. Heather, I love when you do it live and you wear like gorgeous red dresses. I mean, it's fantastic. That's it. It's the fun. So now that we do that, I'm going to tell you why I'm wanting to speak to women in tech. First of all, when I worked at Facebook and Amazon, Siemens Corporation, all of those, and I taught public speaking there, we would have women coming up to us and saying things like, we would have the women coming to the women coaches and saying things, how do I get my voice into the room? How do I get my thoughts together so I speak out loud? How, if somebody borrows my idea, do I come back to it and get to share it as my idea? So there were a lot of things that came up. And then while I was working for that company, I wound up teaching a VIP class one day, and we had some top people from Silicon Valley. And what they were saying was, we want more women in tech and we want their ideas. And so public speaking comes across in your ideas, and a lot of women hesitate to do it. The other thing is I have a daughter-in-law in Austin, Texas, who got into tech about 3 years ago, and she's moving up into management, and we have lots of conversations about this. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to bring it to women in tech. And even though I am low tech, public speaking is about communicating, all right? And so we're going to be doing communication exercises here, and I want to do it particularly today about building confidence and using your body to release the tension that we hold before we get up and speak. So we will be doing that. But first, I would like to ask you in your home to agree to these 3 things, and after I say all 3 of them, you can just put yes, you agree, yes in the chat. So the 3 agreements are, we agree to confidentiality so that women feel free to share openly. Not that there's going to be a lot of physical sharing, but there might be some, and you're going to be sharing in the chat as well. So nothing here will be shared outside this circle. That's the first agreement. We agree to be a stand for every woman who puts her ideas out there, either in the chat or if we get on camera. All right. Even if you do not agree with what she says or share what she believes, we stand for her. We agree to not disparage anyone based on race, ethnicity, religion, gender, age, all of that. So if you agree to all of those, and I hope you do, just put yes in there. All right. Thank you. We got a lot of yeses. All right. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so now there's another question for the chat. You showed up today for a class on public speaking. Some people love it. They love to get up in front of a room and speak, and others run in the other direction. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 5, where do you fall? 1 means terrified, get me out of the room, goodbye. And 5 means I'm so excited, give me a stage. So between 1 to 5, 1 means I'm terrified, let me go. 5 means I'm so excited, get me on a stage. All right, we have some 3s. We have a 3, we have some 4s. Good. Another 3. We had a 5. Beautiful. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So if you fall somewhere in the middle, it's all good. Wherever you are, it's fine because people do have a lot of feelings about public speaking. Now, there are a lot of topics that we could talk about, but because we have a limited time frame, all right, we're going to go, as I said earlier, we're going to go into the body and we're going to learn how to channel the excitement or the tension and how to use the body to do that. And then we will be doing a confidence building exercise, all right? So public speaking, what is it? We think that we have to get on a stage and talk to hundreds of people, and that is scary for a lot of people. But public speaking actually is any time that you are speaking to anyone. So if you're speaking to a friend, that's public speaking. You're putting your voice out there. If you're speaking to someone in your family, if you're in a sales meeting and you're speaking to a potential client, that's public speaking. If you're in a tech room and you're bringing an innovative idea, that's also public speaking. So you want to pay attention to that. So you're practicing it all the time, though you don't really realize it. And it's the same whether it's in front of hundreds or whether it's in front of one person. Now, as you will note, there's not a lot of PowerPoints with me today. And the reason for that is that as a speaker, unless you use some PowerPoints, you're going to be in the tech world and you're going to use some PowerPoints to make some points. But as a speaker, you are the focus. People want to connect with other people. And another piece of information I will give you here is that if you're getting up, let's say you're doing a technical presentation, keep your statistics to a minimum and help to create a story around that statistic. You choose like 3 top statistics, and then you choose a story that will help them understand the statistic. And we won't get into a whole story today because that's a whole other longer version. But when you do that and you tell a story that relates to a fact, the people may not remember the exact fact, but they will remember the story. So that's just another tip that I want to give you. All right. So now I invite you to put in the Zoom again. The biggest challenge you feel in your jobs or your life around communication, getting your voice out there, speaking up. So in the chat, what is the biggest challenge that you face about speaking, about communicating, about getting your voice out into the room, speaking up in your own personal life? Just put it in the chat. Not wanting to hurt others. Overcoming imposter syndrome, trusting that I do know what I'm talking about. Yep. Sometimes hesitate a minute and then the moment is gone. Absolutely. Telling people bad news, adding humor to my message. Rejection. Absolutely. Being a woman in a room full of men in a male-dominated industry. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, and I will try to address some of these. Confrontation. Totally. And these are all issues, yes, men face them as well, but women especially face them because, let's see, contradicting others in a meeting. Absolutely. So I won't be able to address all of these today, but I will try to address some of them. Okay, so first of all, when you're presenting in a room of men, okay, and this is partly what they have been taught. All right. So there is a personality profile called the DISC, and I won't get into the whole description of it, but the D, so it's DISC, and the D descriptor is for people who are directive. It's called dominant in some of the discs, but essentially it's directive. And so when you are going in to speak to your boss about getting a raise, about presenting an idea, any of that, what you want to do, and here's a tip, is before you go in, you want to just write bullet points, so that, because what happens as women frequently is that we get nervous and we talk, and we're searching around for the way we want to say it, and we talk. And so when you're going into any meeting, a really great point is to write down before you go in, like bullet it. These are the 3 things I want to bring in. You go to your boss and you say, I have 3 things that I want to talk about. It's not going to take a lot of time. And you just run down those. And that's another way of doing that. I'm looking at some of these: sharing the right amount of content and data while being relatable and engaging. Right. Being soft-spoken and not taken seriously. Exactly. So we're going to do some exercises, some physical exercises about building some of the confidence before you go in a room. Sharing the right amount of content and data while being relatable. So I talked a little bit about that with statistics. Again, it's not a hard and fast rule, but if you're going to use data or statistics, make it brief and put a story around it. And I teach all of that when I'm teaching my classes. Being soft-spoken and not taken seriously. So we're going to do some of these exercises as we go along. So one of the issues that I hear about all of it is kind of underneath the surface of what we're talking about is questions about how to build confidence before you go into the room. Now, one of those things I said is write bullet points. I'm going to give another one that has to do with going into a room. So let's say you're in a room of men and you're sharing your ideas, but you're getting nervous. So have a pad and a piece of paper with you, or you can put it in your notes on your phone. But if you can have a pad and a piece of paper with you, as you're thinking in the meeting and you're getting nervous and your body's sort of getting worked up, as you're doing that, write down the thought that you want to share. Just have it right there in a notebook. And then when you raise your hand, you can literally lift up the notebook. You can lift up the notebook and say, I just wrote down something I want to share because I want to be sure that I get it across in the room. And then you just share it. You can read it right from there. And that will build your confidence, and you'll also have the point right in front of you. And that is another way to do it. One more thing I'm going to say within that context. Let's say you share your idea and somebody else in the room picks up on it like it's theirs. Okay. Instead of getting angry or getting mad, let's say it's a guy. I'm just going to say it's a guy because there's a lot of guys in the room. What you can do is say, I'm so glad. So let's say John picks up on it. You can say, John, I'm so glad that you picked up on that. And I would like to address it a little bit more. Or I'm so glad that you picked up on my idea, and I'd like to address it a little bit more. So you're acknowledging John. Thank you. You're not creating confrontation with John, and you're doing it, but you're taking your ownership back. So that's another tip. And there's many I could give you, but we've only got, like another half hour or so. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some exercises that work with the body. And we're going to do this sitting down for the moment. So if you wear your pajama bottoms, you're okay so far. Right? So I invite you to close your eyes. I invite you to close your eyes and get centered. And I'm going to guide you through this. Okay. So first of all, I invite you we're going to do this 3 times. Keep your eyes closed. I invite you to take a deep breath in. So you're grounding your feet. Deep breath in and do it slowly. Take a deep breath in through your feet. Bring the breath up through your legs, your hips. Keep breathing, your stomach, your chest, your brain, to the top of your head, and hold the breath. Hold it, and release with a sigh. Now again, you're going to breathe in through your nose. Okay, so you're going to breathe in through your nose, slowly, slowly, through your feet, through your legs, through your thighs, through your belly, through your chest, your throat, your head, the top of your head, and hold it. And then release with a sigh. And one more time, bring the breath up through your feet, your legs, your thighs. Keep breathing up through your chest, all the way up to the top of your head. Hold it, and then release with a sigh. Now keep your eyes closed. Now, I just want you to keep breathing normally now and feel the rise and fall of your chest or stomach with each breath. Just gently feel the rise and fall of your chest or stomach with each breath. And whenever you do these, you just take about 10 seconds to just feel into it, at least 10 seconds. I'm going to give you one more with your eyes closed. You're still breathing. Always keep breathing. All right. And now you're going to take your index finger and your thumb, and you're going to rub them together. And you're going to do it purposefully so that you can feel the ridges on both fingers. And keep breathing and just rub them and feel the ridges. Okay, now when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. All right. Now put into the chat a word or phrase. How do you feel? How do you feel in your body right now? Calm. Calm. Yeah. Yeah. Still. Mm-hmm. Peaceful. That's the point. Quiet. Because you're calming your nervous system down. And I would say that with any of those exercises, let's say let's say you're sitting in a conference room and you want to speak, you can practice any of those with your eyes open, or you can do it before you go into a room and do it with your eyes closed. You can practice any of those with your eyes open, and it will start to calm your body down, and it will ground your body, which is what we're trying for. All right. So that's why you would do that. And these exercises are taken from a program called Positive Intelligence, which I've studied as a coach. And it's really pretty amazing, the whole program. It's pretty fascinating. So those are some techniques that you can take with you to calm yourself, to center yourself, so that when you speak, that also helps to calm your voice. Sometimes we get nervous and our voice starts to shake. My background is also, I'm an actress and a singer and a writer. And when I would go into auditions, I've done a lot of theater. When I would go into auditions, my right knee would shake all the time. Sometimes it's your voice. So these things can help to calm your nervous system. Now, what I'm going to invite you to do, and I'm trusting you to do this with me, because otherwise I'm going to look goofy on camera, which I probably will anyway, but that's okay, because I want you to do these standing up exercises that you can do before you go into a room, and they're fun. All right, so I invite you to stand up. I'm going to try to adjust my camera so that you can see me. All right. Okay, so now you see the full thing with the sequence. So you're going to stand up, and we're going to do an exercise called the shake and pull down. And that, well, you'll see what it's like, kind of like the hokey pokey when we get started. But anyway, you're going to take your right hand, and if you want to hold on to your chair or your desk or whatever, but take your right hand and start shaking it. So you're going to start shaking your right hand. All right. And then your left hand. And then your right leg. And then your left leg. Now you're going to shake your butt. Okay, so you're shaking your body, and you're going to bend forward, keep shaking, shake your head, and then stand up, and then shake your head down again, and keep breathing. And we're going to do it one more time. Okay, and then take a deep breath and bring your hands way over your head and start to push the air out. As you slowly breathe, like you're really pushing the air out, and you're pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. Take another deep breath, raise your hands up. And now you're going to push it down, push it down, push it down, push it down, push it down. And one more time, deep breath. And then down, 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 down. And then lay your hands on your belly and keep breathing. And just feel the grounding that happens in your stomach, okay? This is where we ground ourselves. So again, as you're standing up or as you're presenting, you can do this before you go into a room. Now, this is a fun one, and you're going to feel really like this is goofy, and it is, but there's a real reason that we do it, and you'll see in a minute, okay? So I want you to walk around your space for about 30 seconds, just like you would normally walk, okay? So you're just going to walk around. You're just going to, but you can go off camera. You're not even on camera. I am, all right? So you just walk around, feel how you normally walk. Feel your posture, feel, are you a relaxed walker? Do you walk quickly? All of that, okay? Now I'm going to have you walk in a different way. And what I want you to feel is your tail. I know, sounds weird, but feel your tail as you walk around the room. And if you can't imagine that, if you can't feel it, feel like you have a weighted, like a train, like a queen, and it's weighted in the back. All right, so you're walking and it feels weighted, or you feel your tail. It's really amazing how we've taught this for a number of women, and it's fascinating what you come up with. So allow yourself to feel your tail. And I will call you back in a minute, but just feel it. Okay, now come back and don't sit. All right, but if you can lean into your computer, did it change your posture, the way you walk? What did you come up with? Did you find a tail? Or did you become a queen? What did you come up with? And put it in the chat. Felt more regal, right? Felt more regal? Beautiful. Did you have a animal that came up? Anybody? I tightened my butt. That's great. Exactly. Did any kind of an animal come up? Frequently for me, what happens is like a dinosaur with a big tail. Anything else happen with your posture? Did you feel a change in your posture? Shoulders back. Yeah. Improved posture made me taller. Head higher. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you can practice that anytime. It's a fun way, because what that does when your head is higher, when your shoulders back, when you tighten your butt, all of it. But what it does is it straightens you out. It builds confidence as you walk into a room. And so that is one of the reasons that you do that. Now, the other pose that you can do, and this is easy. This was actually in a TED Talk that I saw. You can do the Wonder Woman pause. Before you go into a room, literally do the Wonder Woman pause. Put your hands on your hips, feet slightly apart, and just do that, because that will help. Okay? So now I want you to, don't take a seat yet. We've got one more little thing to do. So let's say that you actually are in a room, and we're going to talk about the stance that you can use. People use various stances, and it helps you plant you on the stage or in the room, in the conference room. First of all, stand with your feet together. Just put them together. See what that feels like. Now, going to call the A-frame stance. So you put your feet slightly apart, kind of under your hips, but slightly apart. And feel what feels better to you, what grounds you more, what puts you in place. All right? So just feel the difference between those two. So you have the feet together, you have the A-frame, and there's one more that I actually like to do a lot. So you're leaning back on one foot. All right? So you're leaning back. It could either be your left foot or your right foot. So lean back. So now we can have a seat. And I would like you to put into the chat which stance felt better to you. Like which would give you more confidence as you do this. The A-frame. Okay, we have the A-frame. All right. Okay. The two apart, that's balanced. Yep, that's the A-frame. Great. 1 foot back or the A-frame. Okay, so we have a preference here. And you will do that. I mean, you can absolutely do that. Yeah. Any other ones? Did anybody else feel it? 1 foot back, A-frame, any of that? Great. All right. All right. So this now is a different kind of an exercise. On a sheet of paper. So hopefully you have paper there. If not, you can do it on your computer. You can do it on a Google Doc or whatever. But preferably handwriting it if you have the paper in front of you to do it. And on a sheet of paper, I invite you, and I'm going to give you some time to do this. I invite you to put down, to write a list. You can bullet point them, anything you're good at, any accomplishment, bullet points. It could be anything. One woman in this exercise said she was great at repairing motorcycles. Another said she was a genius at cooking vegetables. One woman won the math award in high school. Somebody else loves singing. So I want to invite you to put any of those down on paper, anything. And I'm going to have you, and I challenge you to see if you can fill a sheet of paper. And hopefully it's not a small sheet, but write down as many as you can. Because going back to Heather's conversation earlier about how many of our thoughts are negative during the day, all right, we have probably 60,000 thoughts. Maybe there's different numbers that people come up with, but 70% of those are negative. And this, we're doing the opposite. So on a sheet of paper, make a list of accomplishments, anything you're good at, anything you love, all of that. And I will be timing you. We'll have a few minutes to do that. And I really invite you, even if you're hesitating, to really lean into this exercise. And if anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat. I'm also writing as you are, just so you know. Can write down anything you're good at, great at, anything you just like or love. And you have 10 more seconds. Okay, so you can stop now. All right. Now, is another so do I have now, Heather, I have to ask this question and maybe you can unmute and answer this for me. Can we put somebody else? I want to invite some people to step into the camera, all right, and to be seen, which would be a great step in public speaking. All right. So do we have the capacity to do that?
I can, yeah. So it just takes a second. So, are you going to just ask for volunteers for
I'm
people?
going to ask for
Yeah,
volunteers.
and then
Yeah,
I just yeah, so, if you're interested in volunteering, well, right now you can on the right-hand side of your screen, everybody, you'll see a thumb up. If you do a thumb up, watch what happens to my little face. It goes to a thumb up. Do that, and then I know you're interested in volunteering, and then what I'll do is I will turn your camera on for you, and you'll come up on stage just like I am right now.
okay, and I'm not gonna get them on stage yet, but I wanted to kinda set that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. So
okay,
that's what you do. Just do the thumb up and watch everyone again. What I do, thumb up. My icon, my face at the bottom turns into a thumb up, and then I'll know. Or you could just type in that's a quick way for me to do it. And then I'll just turn your camera on. And if I can't get it on, Stephanie should be able to turn you on.
okay, okay, so it's in the bottom right corner, that's what okay, great.
Yep.
Right, so as you're looking at your list, I want you to circle the top 10. Hopefully you got 10, if you didn't, that's fine, but hopefully you got 10. Circle the top 10 that you really like, that you wrote down. And as you do that, then go back and circle the top 4 that you really just think, that's the fun stuff, or that's the thing you'd like to share. And not everybody is gonna have to speak on camera at all, but I hope some of you will.
And if people don't want their video on, how I am right now, we could always I think we could just turn their mic on and they can talk and you just
Sure,
see the image without
sure, right,
the
because you
video.
record this, right? You record
Yep.
this and it winds up you put it on YouTube,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
and and we don't go we I tend to think we probably won't go viral, so you don't really have to worry. Okay, but if any of you wanna jump in, that would be great. Now, there's one more piece to this. Hopefully, you've circled your top 4, and I want you to put in first the chat. We're gonna do it in the chat first. Put 2 words before this, in front of this, and the 2 words and they're gonna unnerve some of you, but I want you to do this, and there's a real reason for it. The 2 words you're gonna say is, "I brag." I brag. Okay, so in other words, one of mine is, "I'm really fun." I'm a fun mom, so all right. So, I brag that I'm really fun. I brag that I like repairing motorcycles. There's a reason we use the word "I brag." I'm gonna ask you to start putting your 4 in the chat with the beginning, "I brag." I brag, and I'll explain that in a minute. Do I have any courageous souls here? There's a reason for the words I brag. So we've got some coming in. Okay, I brag about making friends easy, making my kids smile. I brag I'm a great listener. I brag that I'm great at enjoying nature. I brag I'm a connector. I brag I can sing. Keep going. This is great. This is great. I brag I am a fantastic gluten-free baker. I brag I am a problem solver. Yeah, keep bragging. Just keep bragging it in. I brag that I pick up on others' moods and needs and make people feel seen. I brag that I'm good at multitasking. I brag that I come up with tons of great ideas. Keep going. That's what we want. This is, I brag I'm a visionary. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take more. I brag I create amazing experiences for others. I brag I am fun and well traveled, lived in three and traveled to 71 countries. I brag I can easily bridge the gaps. Yeah, I'm reading. And here's the purpose, and keep writing in there. I'm going to tell you the purpose of the brag. Okay. I learned this in a massive women's empowerment class that I was involved with. I was a leader and a participant in that program for many years. I brag I can easily bridge the gaps. I see that. Okay, so we got more, and I'm going to ask you, Laura, because you put several in here, and I'm going to ask for you to be a volunteer and a couple of other people to be a volunteer um, as we go through this. But I'm explaining the brag. The reason for it is that, yes, we've been taught by church not to brag, we've been taught at school, don't brag, be modest, all that stuff. Well, as women, we have taken that on so deeply that what happens is we don't own these wonderful parts of ourselves. We don't own them, right? And when you say I brag, it may make you feel a little shy, it may make you feel a little awkward, but in fact, it's just about owning it. It's just about saying, yeah, yeah, I own this. I brag that I'm a good singer. I brag I can easily bridge the gaps. I brag I'm fun and well traveled. You're owning it. That's all this is done, and it's done for fun. This is done in lightness. And if you're in a group of women, let's say there's a group of you from work who have been on this call, you can get together at lunch and do some brags around the table. Just do some brags and support each other in that. Because one of the things it's not really what this class is about right now, but it's about all women working together. We have to learn how to support each other. And one of the reasons I love this program with New Hampshire Tech Alliance is it's bringing women together so we can support each other. So I will take more brags. Okay. You have any more brags in here? Why is it so hard? Great question, Elizabeth. Why is it so hard to think of positive things? I doubled my list by seeing what other people bragged about. Exactly. Adopt them. Adopt them. If you saw things in here that fit you, that you like, whatever, put that in there. I brag I am a great vacation planner. I brag I am creative. Yep, keep adopting, keep writing, keep putting it in there. This is an important exercise. It's fun, but it's also important. And it's about owning yourself. And why I will guess, and I don't know this because I don't see your list, but I will guess that many of you had a hard time putting positive things about yourselves. And that's enormous. And that's huge to build confidence in all areas of our lives. And it's particularly helpful about public speaking. When I got up to do this morning, I was nervous. I'm doing this on camera and can't see any of you. And I did some of these exercises for myself just to get in the mood. And then I put on my sequin jacket. Okay. So, do I have any volunteers who are willing to get on camera or even put your voice on camera and just step into this?
Laurel's willing to volunteer, so let me get Laurel up here. Actually,
Great.
Stephanie, could you do that, please? You're probably better at it than I am. Hang on tight, Laurel. We'll get you. Hold on. Gotta find you here.
I'm so glad you volunteered, Laurel. That's terrific.
I felt like I was in Catholic school again when the nun called on me. Thank you.
I figured. I understand that. But thank you. You put a lot of good stuff in here, and I just thought, yeah, just come on board and just do it. So I invite you to do the 4, because I think you had 4 in there. I invite you to do the 4 and start it with I brag. Okay, and have some fun with it. I look at that smile. It's fantastic.
Okay. I don't really remember what I put in there, but I have my list. So
Okay.
I brag that I am a connector, a visionary. I brag that I I'm capable, I'm excellent at bridging the gaps. Um,
Beautiful.
I brag that I didn't put this one in there, but I'm a beach walker and a sea glass collector. And I brag that I really enjoy being with people.
Oh, beautiful. Well bragged. So you can say that to each other when you brag in a room, well bragged. And the other thing that I teach when I'm working with people privately or in a group is celebrating. So I want all of you at home to put a collective clap into Laurel. All right. That's fantastic. You are all of those things. Somebody commented in the chat. You are all of those things and so much more, which is beautiful. Which is beautiful. And how does that feel, Laurel, in your body to be able to say those things and love your list? Somebody writes, love your list. How does it feel to take that in?
Well, when I first started writing, it was coming very slow. Like
Mhm.
it is hard to identify those things
Yeah,
that we're good at.
right.
Um, and one of the tips I use a lot for myself is when I feel myself, when I'm complimented and I feel myself shying away, which we do,
Yeah,
I note that as something I need to own. So it feels really good to be able to say those things. And even, hearing the compliments or your response does make me feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't put myself out there. But that it takes practice. It takes
it
a lot
does.
of practice.
It totally does. And I'm going to give you a response. Owning your queenness, Laurel, somebody said. Great. Okay. All right. And see the joy that it brings to Laurel to feel that from other people. Okay. So I'm going to give you a response that you can say to yourself, but at some point, maybe have the guts to say it out loud. So somebody gives you a compliment, and I invite you to say, thank you. It's true. Right? So I'm going to say, well bragged. And I want you to respond with that. Thank you. It's true.
Thank you. It's true.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay. People said, oh, I love that. Okay, great. So that really want to encourage people to do that. And do we have any other volunteers who want to step up like Laurel did?
Thank you. I'm going to step down.
Okay, good. All right. Any other volunteers? Okay. All right. So I invite you to practice celebrating each other when you do this. Hi, Heather. You want
I
to?
just wanted to say, come on, someone's got to volunteer.
I'm not calling. I see Elizabeth in here. Elizabeth Waltz, would you like to jump in? Felicia?
Yeah, I guess not.
All right, that's okay. That's really fine. Look, it takes a lot of courage, and particularly, I think if you're in a room, and if we were in a room, I think more people would be willing to like step it up. But when we're on camera, and you might be on YouTube, I mean, who knows? Okay, so now you did the I brag and really own that and take it as a practice both for yourselves, and you could do it at work. You could do it on your lunch hour. Okay, you're owning them. And that, so how did you all feel? So just put a couple comments in the, how did you feel about doing that practice of writing down your positive qualities and then I brag? So you can put it in the chat. Do we have any reaction to that? Okay. Reminds me I should be proud of myself. Yeah. Like Laurel said, it was slow at first, and once I saw others' comments, lots of new ideas came to me quickly. Heather, it is hard, but it made me feel better. Exactly. Anything else? How did it feel to do that? Because this even putting it in the chat is a form of putting your voice out there. It's good to hear that many of us struggle with this sort of thing and we're not alone. Exactly. It's so much easier to have the flood of negative things before writing the positive. I will tell you, I did this in a youth group with a group of teenagers years ago, and it took them many minutes. They were ready to write all the negative stuff. Took them many minutes to even begin this. So, yeah. So thank you, Laurel, for going on stage. Exactly. It takes so this is a practice. This is absolutely a practice to do. All right. So now I'm gonna share. So as we finish, as we wind up for today, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about my work. I go in more depth in classes about public speaking skills. Many companies have empowerment training for women or diversity training where we're stepping up and using our skills and talents. So I offer that. I've worked in corporations and done that. And I also offer executive coaching, either for a group or for individuals. I have a lot of individual clients as well. So if you'd like to go deeper, I would be happy to discuss that further. All right. And for now, here's the action step I want you to do. Okay. Carry with you all the time a tiny notebook, or you can put it in your notes on your phone, but carry a tiny notebook and write down every time you have the courage to step up a little bit and speak into a room, speak an idea, all of that. Okay. So I welcome you to do that. And then note it for yourself and brag it about yourself. Like, oh yeah, even if you did it like I spoke up in a meeting, write it down and brag it to yourself and congratulate yourself. This is an important part of building confidence. And keep it with you. Keep it in your purse, keep it in your bag, whatever you have. So you're doing that. And finally, I'm going to talk about there's a gift from today. I'm offering free 20-minute individual coaching sessions where we can talk about any of this stuff. All right. If you sign up today, book your consultation. The consultation is for this week, and the offer exists through Sunday, October 16th. So I'm only extending it, and there's a reason for that. Okay. For women, I want you to take advantage of it. And what happens with women is we say, oh, maybe I'll do it next week. Oh, I put it off. Oh, I don't really have the time to take for myself. This is a gift to you to take 20 minutes to do this for yourself. And you just go to the website. Okay. You have there, you can take a picture of that there. It's KarenFitzgerald.tv. Let's see if I can, I don't even know if I can put it in the chat. I don't think I can, but it's KarenFitzgerald.tv/TechWomen. All right. Take a picture of it. And if you want to take advantage of it, book your free consultation. And then after that, if you do that, there will be a bonus offer that'll be available at the completion of that. So you do the consultation, you have fun, and there's a bonus offer, and there's no pressure on any of this because I don't pressure people. All right. So that's it. And if you have any, so what I'd like you to do right now is just put in the chat one thing that you'd like to take away. Oh, thanks, Emily, for putting that in the chat. All right. And one thing, something you want to remember from today. So if you put that in the chat, what is one thing you'd like to remember for today? Something you want to take with you about any of the exercises, any of the questions, any of that. All the things I'm great at. Superwoman stance. Yep. What else would you like to take away today? Grounding myself before speaking. Right. Exercises to build my confidence before doing something hard. Always. Yeah. Feeling safe. Queen posture and confidence walk. Nice. What else would you like to take with you today? What I want to take with me, repeat the exercise to list all the things I'm great at. Keep doing it. Please keep doing it. It is so significant. And if you can do the tension release exercises as well for yourself, They're useful at work, they're useful at home, they're useful when you're feeling like you're going to get into conflict with somebody. Use those relaxation exercises. And with that, I want to say thank you to all of you. This has been a joy making time for myself. Yeah, keep putting it in until we move to the next section. And thank you all for being here. Thank you. You're welcome. And for participating. And I've really appreciated it. And thanks, Heather. Thanks, Rise, and thanks everybody.
Yeah,
All right.
no, thanks, Karen, so much. When we were doing the exercises, especially like the you said like the hokey pokey or whatever, they reminded me back in grade school. I think that's, and some people here, I don't know if they were teachers. I remember doing that as a kid. Before we would do something, that's what the teachers would have us do, and so there is definitely something to it. I think it was just like before you did your schoolwork, it got you centered. So we do have some time for Q&A, everybody. It's 8:51. So we have 4 or 5 minutes. If anyone has any questions, I invite you to move it over to the Q&A box rather than the chat box, but that's fine. We'll monitor both. And then after the Q&A, I'll wrap up as I always do. And then, like I mentioned, we'll keep the room open between 9 and 9:30 for anyone who wants to network. And Karen will be at table 2. So if you want to just talk to her on the side, she'll be at table 2 once we go off stage. So does anyone have any questions that they want to ask Karen?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any of them. About anything about public speaking. It could be about what we talked this morning or anything about public speaking. And also, Heather, I'm going to need you to help me move over to table 2. I think I landed myself for table 4 before. I don't know how I did that, but anyway.
And that's a good point. Anyone, so when we are in the networking, as you know, when we go off stage, you just get thrown into any table. When you want to join another table with other people, just double click onto the table that you want to join. So wherever you get landed on, just double click over to table 2 or wherever. So we do have a question in here from Laurel. What might we do to encourage others to use their voice?
I think that's a great question, Laurel. And what you can do is just talk to them about it. Talk to them about your own experiences. I think one of the most helpful things is when women share with other women, and particularly if you've been nervous and you did it anyway, and you had an outcome that you liked, give them stories of encouragement. Tell them a story of encouragement, or ask them what they need that would help them more. Okay, you could give them the brag exercise. You could give them the tension release exercise, any of those things. But those are some ways that you can help women get their voices and support them. You know, I think part of what this program is, all of it, is mentoring other women. And if you can mentor and coach them, those are some of the ways that you can do it. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, and that's actually what we're all about here, right? We're here to like talk about in the beginning, to inspire, to be inspired, and to to lift each other up. I had learned something years ago, and I found that this really works, to be each other's advocate. So if you have an idea and you run it by a coworker before you enter the team meeting or the conference room, to actually, kind of have a plan, right? Like have your friend or your coworker compliment you on something you did. And then you could take the ownership. And that's kind of an easy way to get into it, because someone else giving you validation, sort of like the plant in the audience. So I don't know. I found that's worked,
There's another part of that, Heather, which is great. That's a great suggestion. And the other part of that is, let's say you're in a room at a conference table and there's you and the other woman, okay, and you give your idea. Somebody else wants to take it and run with it. You can come back as her friend and say, I'm so glad that you heard that, John, and I really appreciated when Heather made the suggestion, so that you're bringing it back to her as well. So you're weaving it back to each other. And that's really a great technique as well. So both of those things are really useful.
Good point. So Elizabeth has a question. How do you recommend counteracting imposter syndrome? I constantly underestimate my own skills and knowledge, and then others point them out, and we are surprised I don't see what they see.
Part of it is this bragging thing. It's owning yourself. And I'm going to give you a story around this. So I was watching, as an actor, I like watching interviews with other actors. And I was watching an interview with Meryl Streep. Okay. Meryl Streep. And I think it was on the Actors Studio, and the interviewer said, "What don't you want people to know about you?" And she said, "That I don't know what I'm doing." Right? We all have it. It's something, and you work through it. And Dustin Hoffman said the same thing. I watch a lot of actors, but of course, they're the people that get on stage all the time. Talk about public speaking. Okay, so imposter syndrome is among all of us, even the top people in our field. And the thing is to step up, sort of feel the fear and do it anyway. And then as you do that, you build confidence. That's really the ticket. So thank you for the question, because we all have it.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Karen. That's all the time we have for Q&A. But like I said, the room's open. Meet her at table 2. Just double click over there. I think that, like I said when I started out, I think some of the tips and techniques you started with today will help reduce the amount of negative thoughts that we have during the day, at least about ourselves. So thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate it. And I liked it having interactive and getting up out of my seat for this morning. So a great way to start our day.